So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick. And plus, I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulunaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam, every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, veterans from the Christmas Island nuclear testing in 1958 receive compensation. Suspect in the alleged murder of business executive Holland Sito known to the deceased. And the Republic of Fiji military forces to employ more personnel for the Navy Division this year. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. 24 veterans who were part of Christmas Island nuclear testing in 1958 have received about $9,000 in compensation each. Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama personally handed over the checks. Savara Tamboa has more.
Pate Milangivere of Tavia village in Ovalau couldn't hold back his tears, thinking of his former comrades who have passed on.
This is a good time for us, but unfortunately for those who are not present, I remember them so much.
Langivere was with more than 200 Fijians on Christmas Island more than 50 years ago, when nuclear testing was being carried out by the British government. Wame Turanga of Tamabo village in Suva says he will build a house with this money.
I am very grateful to have received my check. It will be used to build my house.
Warenge Yangomate vividly remembers the day in 1958 when he was told that he was to be part of the operation squad chosen for a secret mission. He was 17 at the time.
I thank God that my children were not affected by the nuclear testing side effects.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama says his government values the lives of veterans and the sacrifices they made.
The years of rejecting any claims for compensation, because Britain says too much time has passed since these events, the current British Prime Minister David Cameron has finally acknowledged this moral challenge and says the issue will be revisited. But as I've said in the vernacular, Fiji is not prepared to wait for Britain to do the right thing. We owe it to this man to help them now, not wait for the British politicians and bureaucrats.
A second payment will be made sometimes between February and September, while the third will be given at the last quarter of the year. Sabira Tamboa, FBC News.
A 26-year-old Fijian woman has been arrested at the Kuala Lumpur airport for attempting to smuggle 1.51 kilograms of methamphetamine into the country. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department seized drugs from the woman who had flown in from Hong Kong. The drugs, valued at US $79,379, were in the woman's luggage bag. Airport Customs Director Datuk Chik Omar Chik Lim says when the bag was scanned, it was noticed that powder was stuffed into a special compartment. The woman is being held in police custody for 7 days while investigations are carried out. The family of a business executive who was killed in his office yesterday is arranging his funeral and final rites. Holland Sito was found dead by an employee at the Lee's Trading Factory in Laudala Beach Estate in Asinu early yesterday morning. Police Chief of Intelligence ACP Henry Brown says the investigation is still in its early stages. Brown says a thorough investigation is being conducted. A police statement released this morning said the suspect is known to the victim. A post-mortem examination was scheduled to be conducted today. Brown says further details of their investigation will be released tomorrow. Sito is survived by his wife and 2 children. The The Ministry of Health today was the final one-on-one consultation before the Public Accounts Committee concluded its sitting for the week. Highlighting issues in the 2007 Auditor General's reports, the Ministry of Health were called in to explain the overpayment of salaries and allowances, which has continued to be repeated beyond 2007. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Committee member and government whip Semi Korlavisau was stern in his reproach against the Ministry of Health officials who fronted today's meeting.
Unfortunately, the officials were not present. There were only two of them. But there's serious issues with both the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education because of the extent in the area that the officials work in the various islands and in the interior and all that. But that's an issue that we have to address.
Deputy Secretary Health Marika Luveniali was called in to answer queries about the overpayment of salaries. His explanation that given the remote and maritime locations, mail and such correspondence took time. An explanation which was shot down by Korlavisau, who said it was unacceptable. Speaking to FBC News, Korlavisau admits there will be many shortfalls in the loss of revenue to government from the previous years, but the focus now is improving.
During the discussions and the interviews that we've held, the Auditor General has been able to raise issues to the various ministries, and they've actually, without the Public Accounts Committee looking, they have attempted to improve on the systems and deficiencies that have been highlighted by the Auditor General himself.
Concluding the consultations, the Ministry of Health has been tasked with producing a report on the value of expired drugs from 2008 after the Auditor General highlighted the loss of $2.8 million on expired drugs in 2004 to 2008. The Public Accounts Committee concluded a week of meetings today which scrutinized the Auditor General's reports covering 2007, 2008 and 2009. The committee will next sit for closed meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, with the next public meeting scheduled for the 23rd of next month. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The military will establish a squadron and employ more personnel for the Navy Division this year. The new plans were revealed to soldiers at the Commander's Parade in Suva today. Watisoni Raikonroka reports.
About 1,000 soldiers converged at the Queen Elizabeth Barracks for the first parade of the year. It was an opportunity for the commander to speak to his troops.
That we've gone past the 800 mark. My parade mataganikuwa. This is us.
Tikui revealed plans of the restructure, which includes a squadron in the engineers section and 150 new personnel for the Navy.
3FR will become a lean unit, but a core unit for the RFMF. There is a logistic unit where we continue to provide the professional support that is required for the logistic unit to support all the operational units. And there is also a force training group, which has a major requirement in training the RFMF and lifting the standards of the RFMF.
The changes are necessary to meet the military's operational requirements and the demands of the government in areas like infrastructure development. Watisoni Raikonroka, FBC News.
Coming up, more dengue and typhoid cases reported in the north.
And black velvet for you. Hi there, join me on the Centre Show every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for the best sounds on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
A total of 68 cases of dengue fever and 14 cases of typhoid have been reported in the Northern Division. The cases are localized in the Madhuwata subdivision. Shireen Lata reports.
The latest figures have been released by the Ministry of Health, and it says some of the cases may not be new. It says data has been collected from late last year and some patients would have recovered.
So it is a localized outbreak only in Madhuwata, only in Lambasa at the moment. It's not all over the north or even national outbreak.
These cases are being followed up by health authorities.
The ministry does this through its surveillance, daily surveillance. So that's what we receive. an update from the laboratory, an update of the activities that our public health officers are doing on the ground. So these are all the monitoring that it does. It monitors cases that it diagnoses daily.
Dr. Kama says the situation can be brought under control and the community has a part to play as well.
Protecting yourself, preventing, individual prevention and also community protection.
An anti-dengue spraying campaign will be carried out in Maduata next week. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Trade unions who are objecting to the new mobile phone voting system have been told by the Fijian Elections Office that it won't be compulsory. Deputy Supervisor of Elections Michael Clancy says mobile voting will simply be another option open to members. Christopher Chand reports.
The Elections Office hopes to introduce the mobile voting method soon, but some trade unions are concerned.
I think whenever you introduce a new way of voting, people are sceptical about it. We are not saying to any trade union they have to vote this way.
Clancy says they will do a pilot study to show unions that the new concept will not only be efficient but a cost-effective way of voting.
And we can also in the pilot study show that this is a very secure means of voting, but no union will be forced to vote in this way.
The Fiji Trades Union Congress, which has close to 30 unions under their national body, has objected to using mobile technology for their elections.
First, they should use mobile phones to have national elections before they can bring it down to union elections. I think that they are speaking out of their depth in this in terms of how they would do this with the membership of union.
Whether the mobile phone voting system will be used will be a decision made by each union for the elections. For now, the Elections Office will focus on when the next trade union elections is scheduled. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Lamballe Stanton Primary School in Suva has been converted to a technical college by the government. Classes at the new institute are expected to begin by the end of next month. Ritika Pratap has more on the story.
Signed and sealed. The Memorandum of Understanding brings into effect changes at the educational institution. The agreement was signed by the Education Minister, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, and the Shri Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha, which runs the school.
Because we did not provide a pathway at an early stage, they were dropping out of school, or if they were going up to year 12 and 13, they were dropping out from university studies because their aptitude did not lie in the higher education area. Their aptitude actually was in the skills area, the technical education area.
Established in 1979, the school has become home to many students living around Nambua, especially those in the squatter settlements. It will now be home to students who may not be so good academically but are better in technical studies. The new technical college is expected to cater for students in the Southern Division.
We will get the ad out on the programs that we offered at different technical colleges, the 3 technical colleges, and the process and procedure that students need to follow to gain admission and enrollment.
The Shri Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha of Fiji has welcomed the government's move and says it looks forward to contributing to the education sector.
We would continue to have this partnership enhanced with government, and if there is, if the committee feels that yes, there is wisdom, it is the right thing to do, and we will continue to help the people of this country.
The government has allocated $7 million for the establishment of technical colleges. Another 7 colleges are planned for opening this year. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Sports now, and Jamie joins us with the latest.
Vinaka Jackie, and good evening. Coming up in sports, Vodafone Fiji's 7th side named for Wellington with 5 changes and Albert Park naming rights up for grabs. We'll have this and more after the break.
Ni sa bulu bina kana turna kini maramani bulu bina kana dor bo kini monelewa ni sa bulu bina kana monei en do talem no no ni wawe katalau en mataka nei nei
en na vindelana mai nei tasiri
Numbula maleka, go nimilote na isorta boa.
And the lomo ni vanua, mai sanganga.
Numbula go Samuel Assembly. Nanota nga ni wawe katala when Radio Fiji One nandomo vitina vonga ni veyan. May no kiniziwa ene mataka, moni tiki na pagrumuka. Nika inamaka.
Ben Ryan has made 5 changes to the Vodafone Fiji 7 side for the Wellington and Las Vegas tournaments. And as anticipated, there is a recall for speedster Samisoni Viriviri, while a few former reps have also been included. Tale Ndaudakadaka has more.
The smiles say it all, as familiar faces have been recalled to the national 7th side for the Wellington and Las Vegas tournaments.
Got some size, certainly got some speed. Their fitness is at a good standard now, and their understanding of defence and attack is getting better and better, and our set piece is improving as we get a little bit slicker on all those areas. So, as you'd expect, the team's getting better, and these boys are in on form.
Ryan has placed 5 players who featured in the Dubai and South Africa 7s last year. In come William Memata, Emusi Muleboro, Manueli Langai, Sitiveni Wanga, and Samsoni Biribiri. Next are Nasoni Roko, Apesaindo Malailai, Apesolome Wanga Tambu, Chonengo Robarua, and Emenoni Nasila Sila.
Manu is an out-and-out forward, He does the things that don't necessarily get the plaudits. He hits rucks hard, he tackles hard, he defends and carries well, and he's good aerially. Sitiveni Wanga is an outstanding in the air. He's a tough kid. He's got a hard edge. He doesn't back down, and those two have deserved their spots. And Viliami Mata, I think he was the tallest player on the series last year.
The players returning are ready to give their best and help Fiji win the 2 tournaments.
Last time I represented Fiji in 2011, that Fiji won the Gold Coast 7. Till that time, I represent Fiji this year. I never lose hope. I keep on working hard. As my parents always said to me, if you're not been picked this year, maybe sometimes you keep on working hard.
The skipper is also happy with the mix he has got to lead this time around.
Kudos to the boys that didn't make the squad for fighting every week to come in, fight for position, because to make the coach work easier, so he can pick the best team for Wellington.
It's a strong squad that Ryan has assembled for the next 2 legs of the World 7 Series. Only time will tell how far they will go. Talendo Rakavak, FBC Sports.
The FBC Suva teams are doing well at the 2015 Central Eastern Vuladhar Volleyball Challenge in Suva. All 3 Suva women's teams have qualified for the Vanua Cup, while the 4 men's teams remain in contention for the 8 spots available. The final 8 teams in the men's division will be known after the finals tomorrow. The Vanua Cup will be held on the 6th and 7th of March. The Vodafone Fiji Under 17 side arrived back home today, still reeling from the tragic loss of Munishalit Reddy in Samoa. Reddy drowned while swimming with the team on Tuesday, and his body will arrive from Samoa tomorrow. Meanwhile, Fiji Football Association says a full investigation into the incident is already underway. Josephine Avula has more.
The Fiji Under 17 side arrived back home today minus 1 of its players who left with this bunch 3 weeks ago from this very airport. While the family of Munit Shalit Reddy wait his body to arrive tomorrow, Fiji FA says an investigation will be conducted to ascertain what transpired. While the team management didn't want to front our camera, Fiji FA is keen to get the answers.
We are waiting for the reports from the Samoa Police, Samoa Football Federation, and we have already told our panel of coaches who just arrived today that we need a full report, what had happened, and then only Fiji FA Board of Control will decide what is the next step. But definitely we will do a full investigation on this, and then we're going to take our next step.
The issue of the team having to spend an extra week in Samoa has also been raised.
Change was that flights. Yes, we finished off on 23rd, which was last week, and the team was supposed to come back. But unfortunately, that is beyond our control. The flights to this kind of playoffs is always booked by Oceania Football Confederation, and they have booked us to come back on the 30th, which is today. We, after finishing off the pool matches last Thursday, we requested Oceania if we can come back to Fiji earlier. But according to OFC, looking at the aircraft, they were not able to get seats back to Fiji earlier. So we had no option but to keep the team there for another week.
Reddy says they are all saddened by the demise of the player. It will take time to sink in.
At Fiji FA, we didn't want it to happen. It happened, and it is beyond our control. We tried our best for the players' safety. It is our responsibility. We understand that, but this thing, we tried our best, but it was not in our control, and this happened.
While the family and friends wait for the youngsters' final journey home, one can only hope this is not a deterrent of other young aspiring players. It is a sad day for football, and this tragedy will remain entrenched in the minds of these young players forever. Josephine Vula, FBC Sports.
The Lautoka soccer team has targeted a spot in the OFC Championships next season, and the side knows that the road to achieving this begins tomorrow in its opening match of the Galaxy Premier League against Lamballe. Training at their home ground yesterday, the boys came out in full force for the last round of preparations. Team Vice President Abdul Khan says the side is in good shape and is confident of a good outing.
The preparation is really well. The morale for the team is really high. And we are going to play Lamballe as our first league game. And we hope to get 3 points from Lamballe. And I think the boys can do it. Yep.
The team takes on Lamballe at 1 p.m. at Subrel Park. Now, the Fiji Chess Federation is anticipating intense competition and even some upsets when the first tournament of the year is played tomorrow. The 2015 National Blitz Chess Championship will take place at the Fashanok Olympic House from 10 a.m. Officials are confident of a good start, as a lot of upsets have been seen in past Blitz tournaments.
The first tournament of the year is a Blitz, which is a 5-minute rapid. So Blitz is like a way to relax in chess, where you just have 5 minutes of thinking time in a game. And it's something that you do before a longer championship in the future. So this is more like a fun tournament. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of children around Fiji who are playing lots of Blitz in the holidays. So preparations would be good overall.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Chess Federation's annual general meeting will also be held after the tournament. The naming rights for the historic Albert Park in Suva is up for sale. Suva City Council Special Administrator Chandu Umaria says businesses who are interested in buying the naming rights are welcome to contact the council. The government has already set aside $10 million for the redevelopment of the park. The refurbished Albert Park will have a 1,000-seat capacity grandstand, new turf worth about $2 million and other sports facilities. There will be 4 football fields, a cricket pitch and even retail space.
We'll be selling some of the things like naming rights for our properties, like the swimming pool. For example, if you look at the Damodar Aquatic Center, like Damodar paid, I think, $10,000 just to give the naming rights. Like the Waterfront Arena, like the ANZ Stadium. So as you know, we are doing the Albert Park. We'll need someone to sponsor that too.
The redevelopment of Albert Park will cost around $16 million and is scheduled to be completed by next year. That was your sports for tonight. I'll be back again on Monday. Until then, have yourselves a safe weekend. Good evening.
Fiji has enormous potential when it comes to setting up call centres, says Fiji Airways Chief Executive and Managing Director Stefan Pekla. His comments come following the opening of a new call centre in Suva last week. Ellen Stahls reports.
The national carrier strongly believes that with the right amount of support and attention, Fiji could excel in the call centre industry.
I think, and we think as Fiji Airways Group, that the call centre is a great industry. It's part of the service industry where Fiji, as the centre in South Pacific, can benefit and take some labour, some calls from other countries like Australia, New Zealand, etc., because the working conditions are here better.
Pekla says Fiji has the ability to capitalise on the number of advantages it has over other countries, language being the game changer. The call center is just a start for Fiji Airways. Pickler says they have plans to include international customers into the business venture soon.
Once this operation runs smoothly, because it's a call center which is very attractive, which provides very good service quality, we can also handle third-party business. So we will have others, and we already have, I think, 11 or 12 inquiries of other customers, offshore customers, non-Fiji customers, who say, oh, can we join, can we join? Yeah, we don't take them now, because first we want to get our act together. Our operation needs to run smoothly, and then when we are ready, beautiful, and means more calls, more revenue.
The center currently employs 45 consultants, but the company is looking at hiring more people as it expands its services. The call center is a shining example of a potential booming business for Fiji. Ellen Stalls, FBC News.
Generally fine weather prevailed over the country today. Tropical disturbance 08F remains slow-moving to the southwest of Samoa. Associated cloud and rain affect Rotuma, Wallis and Futuna and Niue. Meanwhile, tropical depression 09F lies slow-moving to the west of Vanuatu. Another hot day with temperatures in the low 30s, bar tipped at 33. Cloudy periods with some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands can be expected tomorrow. Elsewhere, fine apart from afternoon or evening showers. Isolated afternoon or evening thunderstorms likely. Sunday's forecast, some showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms elsewhere. And the main points once again. 24 veterans who were part of Christmas Island nuclear testing in 1958 have received about $9,000 in compensation each. The family of a business executive who was killed in his office yesterday is arranging his funeral and final rites. The military will establish a squadron and employ more personnel for the Navy Division this year. Now to our poll question we're asking this week, do you support the recognized seasonal employment scheme selection criteria? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our bulletin for today. You can join the team again from tomorrow. Till then, have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Ni mo the manda.